Yo, yo, how's everyone doing? Yo, Luke, how you doing, man? Let me know if you can hear me all good. Might turn up the volume a little bit. Let me know if that's too loud or if that's good. That's right, man. Yeah, I'm doing good, thanks, man. Yeah, yeah, just watch anything if you can. If not, don't worry, bro. Hope work is going well. Just gonna just check how the volume is. Yeah, cool. I'm trying to see how I can change the thumbnail, but don't think I can. Perfect, perfect. So yeah, let's go on to the hard time frame. Yesterday we had a down day on Euro, which sort of been waiting for, but I don't think it's going to continue lower, or too low anyway, until next week. It's playing around in this SIBI at the minute, which is acting as support. So that if you look at the consequent cards in here, go on a smaller time frame, we are trading above it at the minute. Let's go on to the micro of the chart. Here was an hour BISI here. Price taps into it and pulls away. So once it breaks below, what does this become? An inversion fair value gap, which it does here. So it becomes an inversion fair value gap, runs lower. Where's the draw liquidity? Down here. So that low here takes that low out before pulling back higher. If it continues, if it wants to go lower again, the next draw is down here. But let's just keep that in mind here. So it's made a high and a lower low. So these three candles here is a bearish breaker. If you go into the 1 hour, there's two candles here. So let's just keep that in mind for now. You may want to act as resistance on this low of the BISI, and also looks like it's the it's consequent encouragement. So it sort of lines up near for the low of the fair value gap and the midpoint of the bearish breaker. So let's just keep that. It's going to mark one of them first. Here, make it red. Oh no, purple. Mark it out. Yeah, let me know your thoughts on the pair as well. Yeah, if you're looking something different, if you're long on Euro or something like that, I'd like to hear that. See your opinion. Just trying to. I made a thumbnail. Um, for the when I go live. I just want to see if I can use it. Mm. For the minute, it's just got. Do that. Oh, there we go. On there. See if this actually works. I can't remember which one it is. Recent. See this. I'm on the charts already. It's 8:30. I'm on the charts. I'm always on the charts. I don't just trade the silver bullet. I watch how price is moving throughout, and if there is a setup between 7 a.m. and 10 a.m., then I will take it as well. I don't just take the silver bullets. See how price wants to react to this bearish breaker, but nothing just yet. It is Friday, so you want to be careful as well. We've had a very, I'll take, tough week regarding news and what's going on as well. So yeah, just make sure you be really careful. Let's take a look at the dollar. There's a lot of going on at the minute. Let's just remove a few things. Keep this going. Take that, take that, take that, take that. Okay, so weekly civvy here, we can delete that now. Is that, is this the midpoint? Or was it a daily? Yes, should be midpoint. No, it's not. What is that? Our midpoint of that business, okay. Delete that now. So I've drawn on here, there's a consequent encouragement of this wick from the previous week. Price potentially wants to reach and tap into that, not sure. But just keep that in mind for a draw liquidity. Look on the daily, there's a wick here as well. That springs to mind as well. So this wick here. Let's keep that in mind as well. And we've got the new week opening gap that price is now trading above. There's also this daily opening gap here. So let's draw that on. Here. Let's change that to blue. No worries, Luke, mate. Take care, yeah? Hopefully I'll still be live on the Simple Bullet, but I will let you know. Let's just see how price plays. If it's going proper choppy, then essentially just would end the stream. But yeah, hopefully I'll still be streaming. So daily opening gap, you can see price runs as high, breaks lower, fair value gap, breaks lower, fair value gap, top of the new daily opening gap to run lower, back into the sell side here, back into the new weekly opening gap here. Bounced off this BISI here at the minute. To the T basically. Check the low of the candle, 358. Check the high of that candle. It's 358, yeah, so to the T of that. price is reacting on this bearish breaker at the minute. 15-minute bearish breaker could bring it down to here as well. Look on the hour. Next draw liquidity, if it's downside, it's down here. But just be careful, because if you are looking for the draw liquidity down here, it's already ran from here to the low. Final premium discount. You are would be selling into a discount from this high anyway. But if you drop from this high, then you are selling into a premium, which is fine. But for me, being a Friday as well, just be careful. I'll draw it from that high to the draw liquidity. Expect potentially it wants to run this high here, tap into this inefficiency here or this inefficiency, and then sell off. But that'll probably be next week. So yeah, if that makes sense, let me know. I think there is news. I'm looking at it now, yeah, 3 p.m. consumer sentiment. And there's Christine Lagarde speaking at 2 p.m. as well, which is 9 a.m. New York time. But that really shouldn't do much, move much anyway. So let's just go into the 1 minute time frame. Let's have a look, see if we can take read for a second. So at the minute, price have made a BISI there and a SIBI here. So that's a balanced price area. If it leaves this, then potentially just wants to run lower. Let's find the midpoint. Go on to the 15 minutes. Let's see. Just being very patient at the minute, nothing to force a trade. Go on GU. Let's have a look. Again, see the same thing, equal highs, running higher, low, low. Bearish breaker here. You see price respects this bearish breaker. 5 minutes. Doesn't really look like it is respecting it, to be honest. Go on the 30 minutes. Then there is a 30-minute breaker here. Tapped back into the weekly BISI. Look at where the bodies aren't closing below, it's closing above. Shows that it potentially wants to bounce. So yeah, from the high, if that's the draw liquidity down here. So look from this here. So from this push, let's just put it to this push there. Then it is in a premium at the minute. So with EU's not in a premium. So that means potentially EU wants to pull back up, which would then maybe push GU back up as well. DXY, dollar again. Just keep looking. It is bouncing again, still on this BISI here. So nothing really going on at the minute. Delete this now. Yeah, nothing really going on too much just yet. Let me know if you want me to look at any other pairs. If you take a look at S&P, let's run into this SIBI here. It says mark out the consequent encouragement. Doesn't close below it, above it, sorry. Shows that it's bearish. It's tapped into this BISI here though, so you have to be careful. Keep that in mind as well. It is bounced off that BISI today as well, here. So it's run lower, bounced off the BISI, and pulling up higher, buy side here. People who sold this down, got their stops up here, potentially wants to run at highs. Big inefficiency here as well. So just keep that in mind for the S&P. This is my higher time frame. Yeah, let me know if you guys can definitely hear me, yeah? I'm not sure, again, how delayed it is as well. Nasdaq, see, bouncing off the SIBI here. Inversion fair value gap. Showing support. It ran this buy side here, and it's left buy side up here. Inefficiency as well. Didn't feel the inefficiency. So that's imbalanced here, this area. It's left. So there's buy side here with an inefficiency. So if it takes it buy side, there's also buy side here. Takes that buy side, then and if it extends, then it wants to extend into that. If that makes sense. For me, I don't really have a draw liquidity for dollar. Not at the minute anyway. Potentially looking at this consequent encouragement here, the wick. It's just above the high it's made now. And then obviously there's sell side down here. But it might want to run into this consequent encouragement on the high. Euro, again, same thing, this wick. It is now tapped into the wick with this consequent encouragement here. Change the colour, make it orange. Go into the 15. That's where price tapped into that consequent encouragement here before pulling up. We're looking at the hour. High, low, high, high, low, low. So price can reach above to this high because it is a bearish breaker still. So just allow it, and then just keep an eye on the consequent encouragement of the wick here. I'm going to draw that out on here like this. 5, 3, 4, I think that is, or 5, 2, 4. 5, 2, 1. Back. So there we go. That's the consequent encouragement. There we go. So just be careful. It is Friday, so it could just be a slow day, especially with the news we've had this week and last week as well, and what happened on the weekend, or what is going on as well. You have to just be really careful. But like I was saying, with EU's bounced off this daily consequent encouragement of this wick here. It's bounced off here at the minute. It ran into an hour civvy. There's sell side down here. It's ran into a bearish breaker because it made a high, a lower low, high high, then a lower low. So it ran to get the high to make the lower low. Find the standard deviation for this. It's just below there. Hasn't reached that yet. But it has bounced off the CE there. So just got to be careful. Dollar as well, ran from the daily opening gap. Potentially wants to run back into the weekly opening gap. If it wants to run higher, then it'd be the consequent encouragement of this wick here. And then that is a weekly consequent encouragement. Get the actual thing on. 669, I think that is. There. If price does want to run up, then that'll be the next draw. Let me know what you guys are looking at as well. Or whether you guys are in a trade, or you took a trade, or how your week's going. If you haven't took a trade this week, then it doesn't matter. It's been a tough week, so it's clever just to sit on your hands and watch everyone else try and trade. So GU again is in the same position as EU, trading within this bearish breaker here. But would you want to be selling into this weekly busy here? If we look on the weekly here, there's a lot of support. It's bouncing. Would you rather wait for it to break below the consequent encouragement here, or even trade below it, to then trade for that sell side, this sell side down here, and that busy down there? Would you be more patient about that? Let's see the midpoint. On the 1 minute. That's nice here. That's retested the midpoint perfectly inside the fair value gap. Yeah, bearish breaker. Just drawing that back on. Draw from there. Let's see what price does here. Quite slow at the minute, 9 a.m. Is there any news? I think so. The Christine Lagarde speaks. But that's it really. Let's go look at the E-mini. It's running higher. It did run that buy side in the end. I think I had it on here. Maybe I didn't, but yeah, I ran that buy side here into this inefficiency here. Take a look at this. Mark that out as well. So you've got the 75%, 50%, 25% there. NQ. It's still buy side here for NQ. 2 p.m. now, so Christine Lagarde is speaking, but I'm sure that's not really going to change much. It's not that big of a news. That goes down here now. So it's left equal lows here. So people who've sold this from here, let's move their stops above here now. People who thought that this is support, so they're buying this back up. It potentially wants to run, take these people out, and then dump potentially in a PM session. That might what price wants to do. But yeah, sometimes days can be really boring with trading, and that doesn't matter. There's no point of forcing anything if you can't see anything. Personally, I can't see. I drew liquidity yesterday. I could. That's why I took a trade yesterday. But today, at the minute, I can't see anything clear. Euro still playing around in the bearish breaker. 30-minute bearish breaker, hour bearish breaker. Rejected off the Civi here. Or the Bissy. Is it Bissy? Yeah. It's a Bissy, so it should actually be blue. So it turns into a inversion fair value gap. Sell side down here. Retested off the daily opening gap nicely and wants to run lower. The only thing that's stopping it is this Bissy at the minute. Ran back into this Civi here nicely, pulled up. Maybe wants to run. So this is lower than we expect, higher for everything else. So buy side up here, but it is in this inversion fair value gap, so there's no point, in my opinion, of me buying into that. Let's just make it a little bit neater. NQ wants to reach above this bar side. See if it does that. Let's look on the 1. Let's look on the 1 minute. There's not really any inefficiencies here, apart from down here. So there's no inefficiencies over here. Volume imbalance here. Very small one anyway. There. But that's it. So price wants to end up going into an inefficiency, then it have to retrace down to here. Bullish order block here. You can say this is a bullish order block here. So let's see how price respects this. And the next thing I'll look at now, let's delete that quickly, is this consequent encouragement of the wick here, which lines up with the order block as well. See if it wants to reach into the buy side. This could all be manipulation before the 9:30 open, and then after that, could just run it lower. There's a little volume imbalance here. Let's see if price supports that. There. Volume imbalance there as well. It's quite a few. If I was long here, I'd say if price does end up closing below this consequent encouragement of this wick here, then I would come out the trade, and it potentially wants to run a little lower, maybe take out the sell side down here and run into this BISI here, potentially run lower. If I was long now, if I was holding in position, so see if it bounces off this order block or not. Close below the volume imbalance, so you don't need them anymore. Let's see if price closes above it or not. Is he going to take out the buy side? ES has already taken the buy side, so we take it at ES. There's buy side for ES here. ES is leading at the minute, so Nasdaq needs to be catching up. order block here. Take that one. Put it there, but it might not even tap into that before running. Let's see if the next candle just runs through and takes it out. Inside the order block now. Keep an eye on the mean threshold of the order block, which is about the midpoint where it around about is now. I'll draw that one for you. Also that fair value up here, that's traded inside as well. Hasn't closed above it. Hasn't closed below it, sorry. And just keep an eye on the consequent encouragement. Hasn't closed below the consequent encouragement either, which still tells me that it's bullish at the minute. So just keep that in eye. If I draw too many things on it, it gets a bit too messy on the charts. But just keep that in mind. So in my opinion, what it's doing here is it's enticing sellers to come in and they think that this is support, resistance, sorry. They're enticing sellers and the seller's going to get in and they're going to take them out. That's what I think, in my opinion, at the minute anyway, that is telling me. Let's see if price closes above the consequent encouragement, of the BISI. If it closes below the BISI, then we could potentially see more of a retracement, potentially to the sell side, and even a run lower down here. But I wouldn't like to see that. I want just to see it just run higher now. Let's see, ES. ES is playing about at the consequent encouragement here of this 15-minute SIBI. Look on the 1 minute. Price isn't closing above that yet. I saw GU seems to be dropping. GU seems to be dropping, sell side down here. And there's also sell side here. Reacted nicely from the breaker. $30-minute breaker. There, this fair value gap here taps it to the T of the midpoint. There, it's really nice for me. That's what caught my eye earlier. Still hasn't closed below the CE yet. but it is playing around. Take a look at the dollar. Dollar seems to be wanting to run back into the daily opening gap. Let's see how it plays about once it trades inside of it. Maybe it wants to run the high and then tap into the CE. Pretty sure that's the daily. Yeah. Let's see how Euro reacted to this. There's this one here that I just spot. That just keeps my eye. Price doesn't close above that. Look at the bodies there. That tells me the story that it wants to go lower here. Breaks lower. Fair value gap. There. South side down here. Let's keep an eye on this. It's hovering over the consequent encouragement of the 5-minute fair value gap at the minute, but should follow through lower if it wants to follow GU's steps. Nasdaq's taken out the buy side here finally. Enticed sellers to get in from these wicks, but it never closed. I'm going to delete that order block quickly. It never closed below the consequent encouragement of this BISI here, which told me that it wanted to still go up higher, and it was still bullish. So yeah, if I was long from here, like I said, I would have held my trade unless price closed below the consequent encouragement of the wick down here, but it didn't. It bounced off this order block, and then again it played around this area, but it didn't close below the CE of the fair value gap there. So we would have held for the final target here. So if that makes sense, let me know. Dollars finally ran back into the daily opening gap. Delete this now. So if you're short here from this area or anywhere, you just have to be careful that the dollar is back into the daily opening gap. So you have to just make sure you're aware, and it could potentially want to retrace from here. So if you're a trader who doesn't like being in positions where it could retrace, this is a good time to either take partials or come out the trade. Look on the higher time frame again, just to see where price actually wants to head. So dollar, back into the CB here, BISI, sorry. I keep getting confused or just saying them wrong. It is trading below the consequent encouragement, so just keep in mind of that. If it trades above, then we can see potential buy side there. And let's go on the 4 hour. There'll be consequent encouragement that wick here as well, which is sort of similar to the daily consequent encouragement, which I drew on the other chart. With Euro is still playing around the consequent encouragement here, the midpoint of this CB. So even if you don't want to trade there's no point in trading around here anyway, unless you're like scalping and getting into positions in and out in like 15, 20 minutes max. You don't want to be holding trades because you don't know exactly where it wants to go yet. It's quite hard once it's trading around here. Just be patient and wait for where you know the draw liquidity is going to be. And once you have like a one-sided bias, that's when you shouldn't be trading. When you should be trading. Sell side here. GU leading. So let's just have a look here. Bearish order block. Price pulls back into that nicely. Pulls lower. Propulsion block here. Don't want to see price close above the mean threshold. If it does, then it potentially wants to pull back into this inefficiency here. Take a look at GU. GU's already taken the two sell sides. So GU's leading, whilst EU's got to catch up, which is the same thing what happened to the S&P and NASDAQ. Institutional order flow into deal. There. If you have any questions, let me know. If you're in a trade or anything like that, let me know as well. I'll be happy to know. I'll be glad to know. And how's your guys' weeks going? Is it going well? If it's not, then reflect on the weekend, what happened, what you did wrong, what you did right. Never write anything negative about yourself. Hey Thomas, man, how you doing? Yeah, my week's been good, thanks, man. How's your week been? All good? I hope it's been well. I hope it's been good, man. We're just tape reading today. Euro looks like it's running sell side now. But yeah, let me know if you've been in a trade, or if you're in a trade, or what pairs you're looking at, or anything like that. Nice. School and paper trading, that is the life, man. You'll remember those days when you make it and you're older. That's what you used to be doing. Schoolwork and paper trading, and then you're living a great life. Yeah. Yesterday was a nice trade, and I can't remember the other. I think it's Tuesday. Tuesday was a nice one as well. For my FTMO, oh, it was annoying. Something happened. Um, I don't think it tapped me in. Yes, either yesterday or the Tuesday. I had an order filled or an order, and it didn't tap me in, which is gutting. It was about a half a pip or something like that, and yeah, that is not what you want. But still, I saw the trade. The trade was correct. I just didn't make the money for that trade, which doesn't matter. But yeah, that was a shame. So EU is catching GU now. So GU took sell side there, sell side here before EU. So EU's lagging and GU's leading. It was the same thing as ES and Nasdaq just a minute ago as well. There's also sell side down here if it wants to continue going lower to run low down here. Take a look at the dollar. Dollar's running the high now of the daily opening gap. Equal highs and a daily consequent encouragement here. Potentially wants to run into it keeps running higher. And for me, I think this potentially was all manipulation. 938 open, people are going to start wanting to buy this as well. It might want to run this high and then dump the whole thing potentially. I was watching my analysis. Why are you paying attention to the daily CIBI on the EU? Let's take a look. So here, this CIBI here, or this CIBI here. Which one are you talking about? This one up here? This one's important here because as you see it bounce there, bounces, and just use daily PD arrays to mix in between your smaller time frames, and price reacts nicely to it. So the large CB here. So let's take a look. Look how price is reacting here already. Here, so this is the high of the CB. You can see it's reacting here already. It pulls lower into the consequent encouragement, which is the midpoint to the T, before running higher to the high again. So if you draw this on, it reacts nicely on the lower time frames, and it can help you dictate whether it wants to go higher or lower. Look at the prices on the 30-minute, how it reacts here to the low. Pulls a bit lower here, but look at the consequent encouragement here. Plays around the consequent encouragement, runs up higher there. You can see there again. So the higher, the low, and the midpoint is crucial. Yeah, what analysis? Is it the analysis I did yesterday, or the day before, on Tuesday maybe? The analysis. But yeah, always that's why I always have like a daily time frame, and then I also have a lower time frame where sell side has just been taken from EU again. Yeah. Does that make sense, Thomas? Or Tom? Thomas? I don't know. If you like being called Tom or Thomas. If it was the trade on the 11th that I explained, that was actually the smaller CB. It was just on a 1 minute time frame. Over here, somewhere over here, I think. here, around here, I think. So look how, so the black line is the midpoint. It makes a high, a low, a high, a high. So these three candles here is a bullish breaker, sorry. And inside this bullish breaker is a fair value gap, which lines perfectly with the consequent encouragement of the daily CB. And that was my entry here. And then the buy side was there. So there, entry there. Where's your stops going to be? You can either be really like conservative and like not if you're like scared that you're going to get stopped out, then you can have it below here, below the breaker. But for me, it would be, there's a consequent encouragement here. It would have been there. So it would literally only been a few pips. And then it ran higher. And then again, I got into I think I entered again. Why did I enter again? I can't remember now. Should have been another breaker somewhere. High, low, high, high. Breaker there. I can't remember. I entered again. I'm pretty sure I entered again. But you can see how it taps into the T of the high of the breaker there, which is nice. And then runs the high there. Support and resistance. It's not. We're not doing support and resistance. Support and resistance is where people think that this is support here. So they'll be looking to short from here, but we're running higher to take them out. That's what support is. So support and resistance people would think that this is resistance here. They draw that out, look to get in, and then their stops would just be above here. So that's why price runs, takes them out, and then runs lower, because then they'll get taken out, but they'll be like, oh, I've just been taken out, but it went the right way. That's because price takes them out first, and then dumps it lower. Also, people who are breakout traders would think that this is resistance. Price breaks above, retests, thinking it's support, and then just runs lower, takes them out as well. But yeah, you want to use the fair value gaps, like the BISI and CIBI, as actual true support and resistance, as long as it respects it. If that makes sense. So same thing with the breaker here, bearish breaker. It acts as resistance. Looking to get into a trade here. Beautiful one here. So price spends so much time in fair value gaps is because what a fair value gap is it's an imbalance in price. When price runs away from it, it has to come back to balance the market. The market is imbalanced once price runs away from it. I think it does, in my opinion. I think like there's been so many trade setups that runs perfectly like in line, even like an hourly. I'm not sure whether there is one now, but I guess here an hour BISI, it bounces here, closes below, so it becomes an inversion fair value gap. If you look to get in somewhere around here in a short, like anywhere in this area, if it reacts nicely to the consequent encouragement. But inside this area here is a breaker, which ticks two boxes. So it potentially could have been a trade setup here, if that makes sense. So the same thing with dollar now. Dollar is finding support inside this. Let's go into the 5 minute. The close is there. So here, let's see if dollars find support. This is be true support here. So the dollar starts trading above this, then we know that it's supported, and it wants to run this high here. Same with this, the weekly opening gap. Even though it doesn't really betray it here, but we're not just looking as soon as it taps it there, and it pulls lower, then we delete it. We cut across the whole of the chart, cut through all the candles, and you can see it's supported there. It acts as resistance here, and pulls lower. Here, it nearly, don't know if it taps up to the T. That does. So this candle here, once you see that, don't look at all this, but once you see it break above and retest that, when I saw that, well, I didn't see it, but if you see that it comes to the T of that means that's just algorithmic, so you know that it potentially wants to run up now. That's why when I saw, I'm not sure whether it's G or E now. It's G. Look at, so the midpoint of the breaker is the white line, this white line. Pulls lower, there's displacement here, so there's a fair value gap. Look where price is retesting the fair value gap. It retests perfectly on the midpoint of this breaker. So as soon as if you go back the video, replay back the video, as soon as I saw that like to my eye, that I said that was really nice. That algorithmic there, and seeing that just should make you more confident that price does want to run lower. So spending so much time in that. Let's go back. Sorry, yeah. That's because, look on the weekly here, we've just taken major sell side in that one and that one. So we take a sell side here, sell side here. For the past 10 weeks or so, since July, we've been bearish candles. This candle here previous week was the only bullish candle. So it's not every single time it's going to have just a rundown week. Sometimes it's just going to be playing around in this CB for a while, and it just means once it does break that and it retests, that potentially is going to run lower and flood lower. Potentially targeting there, but that's busy, low. Obviously, not all the way that far, but yeah, if that makes sense. Same thing with GU. GU spending a long time around here because this whole area, this is a range. Price has been playing around here and here for ages, and once it leaves, this whole area has been balanced in price. There, that's all been balanced. So price, to get through here, it needs a lot of energy to break through this. So that's why potentially the price is holding up. And what's going on in the world as well. And it depends on the week with the news. That could make price go sideways. This news has been crazy so far, like the CPI, non-farm payroll. CPI wasn't really that aggressive, but the market does go sideways on a CPI week as well, until CPI, but CPI didn't really have that much movement. So yeah, that's right, man. Yeah, hopefully that does make sense. And as well, if you look at dollar, look on the weekly. So dollar still has a little bit of area to run into. So there's buy side here, and there's this inefficiency. But if you actually draw it to the inefficiency here, It tapped into that there and pulled lower. So now I've just drawn it up here because price has already tapped into the inefficiency here. So this, where the pink box is, this is imbalanced. So I still think euro dollar is going to run lower. If we take a look at, delete this here, delete that, actually keep that one. So this is, it's trading no BISI here. Traded a little bit lower, didn't tap into this weekly BISI and pulled above. Let's see how it reacts on an hour. Look at the hour time frame here, made a high, took out buy side, and then made a run for the low for the sell side here. So how it reacted, didn't close above this on the hour there. So if you're looking for shorts on dollar here, that would have been nice. Even on the 30-minute, it didn't close above the weekly there. 15 probably does, yeah. But here, look at this. So high, runs buy side, breaks lower. There's an inefficiency here, which lines up perfectly with the high there. So there. And then also it does tap into here as well. But price doesn't close above the weekly fair value gap there. So this blue box, price doesn't close there. So that shows that it wants to run lower. And then the target is there, where draw it across. Once it takes it, that was the draw liquidity, taken that and now changed. And obviously now that's CPI and running up higher. And that makes sense. That's how I mix the higher time frames with the lower time frames. So sell side here. So once price closed, so this BISI here, once I saw this candle here close below it, I potentially thought it was. I'm pretty sure it was on another live stream. I said if price closes below there, we want to head towards this sell side and the weekly BISI. And what we did was we closed below there. We manipulated people to think we're going up. It taps into this CB here, and then it runs lower to take out sell side. So people who moved their stops a bit early have been taken out, and now it wants to run higher. And to take people out who've just sold from here, who think that they've caught the top, which I don't think the top is yet, because it's still got a lot more room to run into this weekly civvy here and buy side, if that makes sense. What I'm waiting for today, in my opinion, I can't really see a proper draw on liquidity. So when I saw this trade lower here and close, I sort of knew that the draw liquidity was going to be down here. So then I'll be waiting for short setups. Now price is trading above here. It's trading in between this consequent encouragement. I would have liked it to close above a little bit more, and then potentially wants to target this high here. So if it closed above about here yesterday, then I'll be more confident in running this buy side. So I'll be looking for shorts on euro. But now we can see it's playing around this consequent encouragement. So I'd say I'm sort of neutral in my opinion. So if you're neutral when you don't have a one side bias, then I don't really see a trade. Which doesn't matter. Like, you shouldn't have a trade every single day. What about you? What's your bias on dollar or euro? So the open, so the 9:30 open, it ran the highs, and then it did end up dumping lower. Very choppy though at the minute. Yes, definitely leading. Ran into the high of the Cibi now. Dollar showing support on the consequent encouragement on the daily opening gap. So if this wants to trade up higher, then intraday I'll be looking for shorts on dollar, on euro, sorry. So delete all this. What I nice man, nice. So for what I want to wait for to see in the trade is literally this setup here. The setup I took. So I want to see a run on the bar side. I want basically like a breaker, and then inside the breaker a fair value gap. That's what I like to see. That's what I like to see. So let's take a look at GU. Nothing really. So Nasdaq. Let's take a look. 9:30 to 10 a.m. is called amateur hours. So that's where the gamblers enter quickly. So I don't really trade the London Judah swing though. I mean, I always like to see the Judah swing, um, and I keep that in mind. But London for me, I don't know. I just prefer New York, like the crossover. And plus, there's well, I like it when there's news as well. So I like to see the manipulation first, and then I can sort of see where people's stops are, like where the liquidity is, and you can target it a little bit nicer. And price does end up running quickly to the targets instead of choppiness. What's your favorite trade setup, Tom? What would you like looking for and getting in? Or what stands out to you as soon as you look at a chart? What things stands out to you straight away? Because some people are different. Some people like the fair value gaps or the order blocks or breakers. So it's trading inside the gap now at the minute, the opening range gap. So the opening range gap is when it closes at 4:15. Yeah, 4:15 and opens at 9:30. So there's zero trading going on there. So people have bought this up here. The sell side here, buy side here, ran buy side, ran sell side. So it's definitely seek and destroy at the minute. So you want to be very careful. The market could be chopping you off at the minute. It's definitely chopping traders up at the minute who are trying to get into a trade. Yeah, that's nice as well. To find the Asia liquidity, find the London run and then go opposite. That's nice. Yeah, that's the only thing. 2 a.m. I mean, some people set alarms, but especially if you've got school and stuff, you're gonna just be knackered. So you don't want to be tired whilst trading. So definitely, whatever like it suits you and what time zone is what you've got to trade, and you've got to sort of yeah, just trade the certain time zones. I'm quite lucky, so I've got London and New York. Just don't have Asia, but Asia, I'm not bothered about at all. But I don't really trade London. I used to trade London, but I've just found more success with New York session and the silver bullet as well. So I mean, there is a silver bullet in London session, but I like the 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. because then I got the 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. kill zone, which is the New York kill zone, and then you got the silver bullet. So here, there's an opening range gap for the ES, which still needs to be filled. So this could be manipulation for it to run and sell side down here as well. Move it to electronic trade now. So there's the opening range gap. Let's take a look at the dollar. Dollar took buy side here and is now running to sell side. Definitely very volatile and seek and destroy after the 9:30 open, so just definitely be careful. Especially after trading the CPI the next day, or the day before, sorry. CPI day before. Delete this now. Keep it neat. So this orange line here, it's either the daily or the weekly. It's a daily. So a daily wick. This wick here is the midpoint. So the consequent encouragement of that. So wicks is gaps that the algorithm sees. And that's how it played around here. My win rate is quite high, only because I don't really take as many trades. I only wait for the best setups and the certain times of the day and the certain day of the week. And if there's like not CPI or news beforehand and stuff like that. So I make sure that there's not like NFP or anything like that. I'd wait for the news to happen, wait like 30 minutes after, find the liquidity, and then if there's not a good setup for me, then I won't trade. So I only trade solid setups. And anything if my mind is like, oh, I don't know about this one, then I won't trade that one. I have to be 100% focused as well, and like in the zone of trading, and yeah, I have to make sure my mindset is good. But yeah, I'll say I haven't lost a trade for a while. Not a while, but like I've won quite a few in a row so far. Touch wood. I was thinking of documenting like a trading journey and just show all the trades that I take on that account. I don't have a fixed RR, no. It's just literally where the liquidity is. As long as it's higher than 1 to 1 or 1 to 2 or 2 to 1, if you think of it like that. As long as it's higher than 2 to 1 or 2 to 1, then I'll be happy. But usually I take partials, so it ends up being about 3 to 1 to 4 to 1, which I'm very happy with. But yeah, I documented a video. I didn't really, it was just on my phone. I just did a free trial of FTMO, and I made myself, I think it was -3%. And then I just took it all the way up to 8%, I think it was, or 7%, something like that. And I was just recording all the trades, but it was on my phone, so it's not like where you can see my laptop screen. It's not that good footage, but yeah, if you want me to do something like that in the future, I'd be happy to do that. Like start with drawdown and see if I can trade my way out of it and into profit. But yeah, I did that a few times. I think that was back in July or August. I think it's July. Um, I started myself in drawdown a few times just to see if I can get back out of it, and I did, um, which was good for my mindset. Especially if I come from a break or something. If I come from going away somewhere, I'd put myself into a demo account, put myself a drawdown and see if I can trade myself out of it, and then I'll be ready for my live account again. Yeah, yeah. I'd see if I can start documenting it. Um, but yeah, also the trade setups that I want to take on my actual FTMO account as well. Um, so then I'll be taking different trades potentially on that that challenge account or whatsoever. Just because I want to make sure I focus fully on actually making money first and then content after. So yeah, if you join my Discord, bro, I'll send you the video of me coming out from drawdown if you want, or like some video trades that I took and stuff like that. Let me send the Discord link just so that I can text you. If you have Discord anyway, if not, then don't worry. So yeah, add me on Discord, and then I'll show you me coming out from drawdown if you want to see that anyway. But it's a good thing if you do that yourself. One, it puts a teeny bit of pressure on you for not trying to fail the account. Two, it helps you if you're in an actual proper account trade, learn to come out of drawdown anyway, without panicking. And three, it teaches you that you can trade, gives you more confidence as well. Like as soon as people take FTMO challenges or funded challenges, as soon as they're in drawdown, they think that that it's over, but it's not. You know, it just takes one or two trades to come back out of drawdown, and you're fine. So price accumulating at the low of the daily opening gap. See what Nasdaq's doing. Nasdaq trading above the opening range gap, back into this civvy here. Look on the 15 minutes. High, low, high, high, low, low. Could say this is a breaker here. It's not the nicest breaker, but it is still a breaker. It's 10 a.m. So there was news. I think it was like consumer sentiment. So let's see that reacts to the market. Dollar higher. Potentially wants to run for this buy side here and back into consequent encouragement. Euro sell side here. It's been taken now. Let's wait 5-10 minutes after this news to see what's happening. Buy side's been taken. There. It's gone. Nasdaq still playing around this civvy. It's just got to be careful here. They're trying to sell Nasdaq. High, low, high, high. Bullish breaker. And that candle as well. I've just drawn the last candle. See how the price reacts to it. Maybe it's black. No, I don't like that. Make it purple. ES has still got this range, the opening range gap to run back into. Volume imbalance here. Just keep an eye on that. This red box is the civvy, a 15-minute civvy. This here is a mitigation. High, low, lower, high. So mitigation block. It's not really that good for entries. So yeah, it's tapped into the mitigation block. I want to, so for the silver bullet, I want to make sure that I can see the draw liquidity. So it's not just the first fair value gap. It's if you see the draw liquidity, you want to see, and then you want to make sure where you know the price is wanting to run to, and then getting on the fair value gap. So you don't just get into any random fair value gap. It's the where you know draw liquidity is going to go, and then get into the fair value gap between 10 a.m. and 11 a.m. So it happens every day. It doesn't mean it happens on your pair. So it could happen on like GU or it could happen on EU. And then, or it might not happen on EU, it might happen on GU or whatsoever, but it does happen every day. And it's always a run on liquidity between 10 a.m. and 11 a.m. Just delete that now, make it a little bit neater. Delete this. So if we go on regular trading hours, there is sell side down here. So if you look on electronic trading hours, it doesn't look like there's sell side, but it's there. So the price may want to run back into this opening range gap and run back into this sell side. Let me know if any of you guys are in a trade or anything like that as well. I'm not sure how many viewers there are here. I think there's only like two or three, but yeah, let me know if you are in, if you guys are in the trade. I'll be really interested to know. Or you guys are looking at anything different to me. You got any other views differently to me? I'll be happy to hear. There's drawers across there. So this bullish break at the minute hasn't closed below it. Look at the euro. So euro is bouncing off the consequent encouragement of this, the daily CE. Sorry, nothing that sticks out at the minute. It's got to be really, really careful, really patient. Sell side's been taken here with this candle. So just be careful. I'm looking at the 1 hour. The next draw liquidity is here at 1.04826. We draw from the high to the low. Find a premium discount. Then we are still just trading at the equilibrium here. So you still potentially can enter there, but you don't want to be entering in a discount. Take a look at the dollar. Dollar's bounced nicely off the breaker, this bullish breaker here. Let's see if Nasdaq wants to run lower. Taken buy side here. equal lows, taps into a bearish breaker. So let's just see. Very choppy at the minute though. If you're in a trade right now, would you want to be in a trade in this? You see all this price action. You wouldn't really want to be in a trade, would you? So you'll be thanking yourself that you're not trading in this time. You might just have to leave it to the PM session for it to run these lows. Just going to delete this quickly. Delete that as well. Actually. There we go. Bar side's been taken here. So potential wants to retrace back down. See if it retraces, takes the sell side here. But let's just be patient. Nothing really sticks out to me at the minute. The only thing I see here is there's run and buy side. Taps into bearish breaker. Market structure shift. And it's left a fair value gap, which is inside the opening range, which is nice. But it's just been very choppy at the minute. So potentially price pulls into that, again an entry there, so then to run to these equal lows. Because people have been buying this all morning. Opening bell rang, runs higher, took out all this, taps into the bearish breaker, and then market structure shift to get into the short. What do you guys think? We want to see dollar bouncing off this daily opening gap and run into the daily CE and the weekly CE for then Nasdaq to be running lower as well. If dollar runs higher and Nasdaq runs lower, that's nice. Severe low resistance, a pretty trade. But a very choppy opening. Very choppy 40 minutes so far. E-mini has to try and run to the low of the opening gap. And then if you've gone regular trade now, there's a sell side down here. The sell side and then also an inefficiency as well. There. For Euro, let me delete this now. There's a high, low, high, high, lower, low. So here, for me, draw that across. I say that's the bearish breaker there. Lines up nicely with a fair value gap. And there's also a fair value gap there. Institutional order flow. There. So this orange line is consequent encouragement on the daily, but the draw liquidity for me is it daily? There's a daily low here, and there's also a bitty there. So just keep an eye on that. But yeah, the daily low. So from this run in the inversion fair value gap, there, that is in a premium, so it's nice to get in. Anywhere below here now, you shouldn't really be looking to get in. Nasdaq lower. Dollar bounced nicely off the daily opening gap. Daily CE, weekly CE, the dual liquidity. But yeah, very choppy so far, in my opinion. GU trading in that weekly SIBI now. Sell side here, did that take the sell side before or just now? Just took it there. So then I'd say the next draw for GU, if it wants to go lower, is the consequent encouragement there. Or the 75% level. Let's get it properly there. So if you're short from here, take some partials there, and then, yeah, you know. Same thing with GU, there's a run higher here. Bearish breaker. Inside the bearish breaker is a fair value gap. So yeah, that's what I look for when I'm trading. I wouldn't trade the GU only because it's playing off the weekly CIBI, so it could easily bounce from there, or I could just chop around. So Euro would be the better one for getting in there. What time is that? 10 a.m. Silver bullet or run, sell side. Silver bullet here as well. Let's see Nasdaq. Yeah, Nasdaq is very choppy. Next draw is the weekly consequent encouragement for dollar. If dollar wants to keep extending, that is. Let's see if Euro wants to come down. for Friday. Could potentially make it, but we shall see. It's gone the 1 hour. Not really anything stopping it. So it's like there as well. So if you are short, potential partials at 1.05014. But yeah, let me know if you guys are in anything, or if you've got any questions, or if you want to tell me about anything, feel free to comment. Nasdaq has been very disgusting. I mean, would you try and want to trade this? No. So if I only traded Nasdaq, I'd just be closing my charts right now. Probably wait for the PM session. ES is moving a little bit nicer. But you want to make sure both of them are moving nicely for it to be a low resistance liquidity trade. So this is read, take read EU. So fair value gap here. Mini fair value gap as well. There's a mini one there. Institutional order flow there. So if I was short here, I usually have like, I call it like 3 defenses. So that's 1 defense here, 2, and then 3. If price trades above this, then I probably would have closed the trade. I'd also just keep an eye on this consequent encouragement here. As well, this wick. And then if you want to call that 1 defense, 2, 3, so 3 PD arrays, then you could just remove this, and if it closes above that, then you can be done. Let's just get dollar as well. So yeah, if I was short in this trade, this is what my thought process will be like. So I'll have this drawn out here. The fact that it has closed above this doesn't mean to close the trade, but it just tells me potentially, if it does end up going down here, to take more profit, because if price pushes and closes above that, then it might not want to run further than I think. But if price keeps doing this there, pulls lower, taps into that, then it would tell me that it just wants to keep dropping, so you can hold the trade a little bit longer and further. So next draw liquidity is at that 1.0514, and then we've got 1.04826 as well. make sure GU is running similar with us. So yeah, GU is still running lower, which is nice. Because if GU is running higher and it's not running the same, then it's classed as a high resistance liquidity trade, and that's what you don't want to be in that. That's just where it gets really choppy, and yeah, you want to make sure it just runs similar, symmetrical. So GU I think is leading anyway. So let's just take a look at dollar. Dollar's running higher, which is good. And the next draw was that weekly consequent encouragement. I'll just put my laptop on charge quickly. And then I'll just keep an eye on this consequent encouragement here. So if it doesn't respect that, then potentially wants to run to take out this high. But let's just see. Bodies tell the story, candles wicks do the damage, bodies tell the story, sorry. So it's now taken that buy side there. Didn't close above this consequent encouragement of that wick, which I do like. So now I don't want to see this become an inversion. I want to see this run through. I don't want to see this act as support here. There's no need to panic. If you were short from here and be like, oh, should I take out? Should I take out? Just watch what price is trying to tell you here. So at the minute, this is showing an inversion fair value gap. A consequent encouragement to the T, which potentially tells me that it does want to run a little bit higher. Which now, then I'll be looking to take out. Oh, my keyboard is not working. One sec. Got a dodgy keyboard. There we go. So this will be the last draw defense for me. If it closes above that, then I'll be done for the trade. Then I wouldn't care less what price wants to do. Let's look at dollar on this other time frame. There's a volume imbalance here. That's tapped into. There's nothing really else. Volume imbalance there. So price is tapped into this here. Don't want to see it close above this. If it does, then it potentially wants to retrace a little bit more. But if it does run lower, then it made a high, a low, high, high, potential lower, low. If you want to pyramid it to go lower, you can. So dollar here, that volume imbalance is bouncing. Got to be careful of this to be here though. And again, I don't want to see this as an inversion fair value gap now. I want it to break through. I don't want to see it show respect. I want to just see it break through either now or the next candle. So the consequent acknowledgement, it hasn't closed below that, which is not a good sign. You're looking at it both ways. High, low, high, high. Bullish breaker, fair value gap here. So that's why I don't want to show support here. If that's the setup, I'll draw liquidity is down here, so it doesn't matter. We want it to run lower. Let's delete this now. So there is that SIBI here. Let's keep an eye on that. So it's inside the SIBI now. Just mark the C of it. Just make that blue. Or red, sorry. Wicks do the damage, body tells the story. Remember that. You're short in NQ. Let's have a look. Where did you enter? I mean, NQ, I was short on NQ. But it's just the price action is just quite sloppy in my opinion. But yeah, nice. NQ short. Nice. Hope it goes well for you, man. There's sell side here. That spot. There's also a sell side down here, equal lows. So potential partials here. Yeah, hopefully that trade goes well for you, man. So with euro, so it's closed above that. This BISI here. CB, sorry. So yeah, last line of defense would be this. If it takes out that high, then I'll probably be done. I would cut out that trade. And that's showing that inversion fair value gap is showing support here, which is not good at the minute. High, low, high, high. Fair value gap inside the breaker. That's the setup I would look for if the draw liquidity was on the right side of the market. Yeah, potentially wants to run back into. There's nothing really on the 5. 15's got that pissy here. Sibby. So I may want to retrace into that. into that there order block as well. So I may now want to retrace into that. It took out that high. The fair value yet hasn't closed above that yet. Let's just see what it does. See Nasdaq. ES playing on the low of the CB. Look at the 1 minute. It's playing on the low there. Still got a little bit to go to fill the range gap. Dollar, this BISI here and volume imbalance has now become an inversion and is running lower. Which means EU is running higher, probably back into that 15-minute CB here. So let's just delete all this, just make it neater. So again, high, low, high, high, fair value gap, but bullish breaker. If my bias was long, that would have been a nice setup. But it just could just be retracing. That's a 15-minute CB, isn't it? 15-minute CB, delete, let's keep that now. And an order block there. May want to run back into that. Draw liquidity from this high to this low. Back into a premium. If there's a setup there, it'd be nice to want to run to the downside. Look where GU has gone to. Literally the T of the consequent encouragement of the weekly CB before bouncing. I think it's basically to the T. Oh, it's a pipette. But yeah, that's nice how that bounced. So that's why you should take partials at these areas as well, in case there is a retracement. Nasdaq. Took out a little bit of buy side there. Didn't manage to get into this CB here though. Delete that now. ES as well. Very choppy for the futures market. So the Nasdaq and S&P has been very choppy for Friday. So yeah, the best thing to do is not get into a trade and not force a trade and enjoy a weekend, in my opinion. There's no point in trying to force something and it'd make you think about that trade over the weekend. My news protocol, if there was news, I usually wait about 15 to 30 minutes after the news has happened for me to then find people's where they put their stops and stuff and then get in. But if there is CPI, then I'll trade probably half an hour after that. I would never trade before that. Or would never trade the CPI news. NFP as well, I wouldn't trade NFP. PPI, I'll trade after that as well. But anything other than that, I still probably wouldn't, like the red news, I wouldn't hold a trade during that. Only trade after it or just before that, not inside of it. Does that make sense? Let me know if you guys are liking the stream, by the way. So for NFP, I'll trade Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Thursday, Friday, you have the day off. Yeah, skip Thursday. You don't trade Thursday. You don't usually trade Monday, but because NFP, you make sure, well, you don't make sure, but try and trade on Monday that week, on NFP week, because you have Thursday, Friday, you don't trade that. And it's a nice Monday movement. Sometimes it's nice for Monday. Yeah, let me know if you guys are enjoying this, by the way. But yeah, I enjoy it. I enjoy speaking to you guys as well. Let's see, with the euro, high, a low, high, high. It's now made a lower low. Bring this across. If it makes another candle here, there's a fair value gap inside the breaker. So we're anticipating what price is doing. This is the draw here. This is the run. It is inside a premium, which is okay. So let's just see what price does. You don't want to force anything, but let's see. I'm glad you guys are enjoying the stream as well. So yeah, see, could be a potential setup here. There's a little one here as well. So if you did enter here, you'd have to make sure that your stop is above this. So it'd be above here. ES has finally reached the low of the opening range gap, and there's sell side here. Sell side is on the regular trading hours here. So actually there, which it has to the T there. So let's look at Euro, see what it wants to do. Tap into the fair value gap inside the breaker. And you have to allow it to tap into the fair value gap here as well. See how it reacts. But yeah, that's what sort of my entry would be like. That's what I like to look for. So up here, it's the same one. High, low, high, high. Made low, low. And then bearish breaker here. Runs across. Or that one there. Draw that across. Inside is a fair value gap. Yes, see if it wants to run that sell side. There's a little fair value gap here, which lines up with the low of the 15-minute civvy, which is lovely. And that red. NQ. Nothing on NQ for me. Where did you enter, by the way? It's Sutu? Is that how you say your name? Sutu? Where's your entry? Because for me, there's not really a fair value gap. The only fair value gap that I saw was here, and price didn't want to run into that. As I'm being blind, there was one there, but Euro didn't tap into the fair value gap here though. Actually, it did to the T, but you wouldn't have got in from spread though if you had a order from there. So if you did get in here, once breaker, find the deviations, standard deviations here, so you can take your profit there. Take some partials here as well at a new lower low. See what it does. See, let's get in here. I'll take there, in my opinion, for an order block. Partials be here. You're going on order block, nice. So here, oh, bearish breaker here. Inside the bearish breaker is a fair value gap. Partial's been taken for EU. Where's Nasdaq? Nasdaq, it was 1020 order block. Nice. Check the mean threshold. Yeah, nice. Hope it works out, bro. Where's your first target? Is it here? Sell side, I'm assuming. And then final target. These lows, equal lows. Dollar. Still trying to reach for the consequent encouragement. Order block here. And a volume imbalance. Partials. That's why you should always take partials. Good risk retracement. That order block has acted nicely. I'd also have a look at that wick now. Just keep an eye on it. If I want to be really confident for it to run lower, I wouldn't want it to see it trade above into that. it runs into it, runs to the T of the bearish order block, which I like as well. So if you look at that low of this candle, if you look up here, the low is 0.92 and the high of that candle is, right, the low 0.77, sorry. The high is 0.77. Yeah, the target would be match aggressively. Yeah, nice. Yeah, it is very choppy for Nasdaq. So yeah, I'll be done for the week if I was in that trade. Yeah, very choppy. It has ran to the sell side now though. But yeah, all of this is very choppy. You don't really want to be in that because that's just stressful for your brain. And yeah, for your mental capital, you don't want to spend that much. You'd rather want to be in a low risk liquidity trade, low resistance liquidity trade. So yeah, look, it's still a bit choppy here though at the end of the day for EU as well. It has tapped into this fair value gap here again. It's tapped into this order block. Where's the mean threshold of the order block? That blue line taps into the T basically, of the bearish mean threshold of the order block, which is nice. I want it to start running away now. Bearish order block here now. Delete that. So this here is a propulsion block. So you don't want price closing above this red line, blue line here. So here is my final thing. If I was short here and the price closes above that, I'll be done for the day. Have a look at Nasdaq. ES is running. ES ran that sell side on the regular trading hours. Electronic trading hours, the sell side here. Sell side there for the first. And also if it wants to run, it will run into that as well. But that was nice, the way it ran into the bearish breaker and inside the fair value gap as well. Nasdaq should be dropping as well. So yeah, both targets for Nasdaq has been taken. Next target down here, click on 30. There's an inefficiency here where it's tapped into there. If he wants to keep running, dropping, then the next target is 15171. Fair value gap for EU here. Keep an eye on the consequent encouragement. Second partials taken for the euro. Still got a long way to go for the next. Dollar nearly reaching up to the consequent encouragement. So, um, depending on how it all depends on how prices are respecting the like order blocks and the fair value gaps and stuff like that. If it's showing me that it's really bearish, then I'll only close a little bit of partials. But if it's like starts slowing down, closing above the consequent encouragement, then I'll take probably more like 60 to 70% off at like a second partial. And you should only literally have like a small amount of running left. Um, but yeah, mostly just I'll close probably most of your trade at the first partials, only because then you won't be your psychology won't be like, oh, should I close the trade? Should I close the trade? You'll be more willing to hold the trade longer, and you'd learn in the long run to hold a trade, and then in the future you can hold longer and bigger trades without taking partials. So I'll take most of your partials off first, about 60%, so you can hold less. So then you can actually hold the trade without worrying about how much money you're going to lose or make, if that makes sense. So yeah, I'll probably give it another 10 minutes, 15 minutes, just tape reading, and then I'll end the stream. See if dollar wants to get up into this consequent encouragement here. But yeah, because it'll be after 4 o'clock. It's probably just going to be slow until the PM session anyway. Yeah, nice. Whatever works for you, I'd say as well. Some people are good at holding trades longer, and some people can't really stand it. So let's see how that reacts. So GU next would be this 75% level, or 25% level, sorry. Yeah, it's not really any inefficiencies there. But there's a little one here that hasn't been filled from this here, from that inefficiency here. If you draw that across here, these two, then price is trading where that is now. So if I draw that across, there is where an imbalance is. Our price already ran into it now. There we go. That's where the price is playing about there. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. Hopefully you learned anything or something. And yeah, I would love to do it again, probably next week. Stream again. Yeah, a bit choppy for Nasdaq and S&P. Euro was alright. Pound sending into that weekly CB, not for me. But yeah, maybe I'll do a higher time frame review as well of where I want to see price in the future, and then that could determine where your bias is for the week. So yeah, that's why you should always make sure you should take partials or when it takes liquidity, because then it wants to run into an inefficiency or order block here. Chance of reversal, you don't want to lose the profit that you've gained. Order block here as well. See how that reacts. yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. This was nice here when I pointed out the breaker and pricing close above it, below it. Inside that, it's a natural gap as well as a void, liquidity void. I'm glad you enjoyed, Raphael. I'm glad you enjoyed, man. Yeah, hopefully tune in next time as well. Um, and yeah, hopefully we can all conquer the market. But yeah, shout out to ICT Inner Circle Trader because he's the one who taught me all this on his YouTube. The next draw for ES is that low here. But yeah, I did actually call if you replay the video, I said that the 9:30 open it was going to run these highs, and then this is all manipulation, and it's going to dump and take all of them out. But yeah, hope you guys have a great weekend. Thank you, Suto. Hope you have a nice weekend as well. Hopefully I'm saying your name right as well. That's a cool name. But yeah, take care, guys. It would mean everything if you like the stream as well. Shows me that you actually enjoy it as well. And yeah, I would shoot on my YouTube text that when I'm live streaming next. So yeah, enjoy, guys. Have a great weekend. Be safe, and have a good next week. Thanks, guys.